So the book is called Newported, A Poetic Field Guide to the Oregon Coast. And I want to talk about what it means to get Newported. I grew up there, and that is my source of inspiration. That's my place. So I found a definition on the World Wide Webs. Newported, newported. It's a verb used with an object. To experience a slighting, a psychological or physical injury or unexpected joy brought on by cultural and geographical isolation, to be subjected to dark magic indigenous to the Oregon coastal town of Newport. Born of provincialism, rain, rugged individualism, and Walmart. It's Latin for fucked up. I got an author to say something nice about me. Willie Vlotten says, Tim Sproul is the only poet who can recite a poem in a bar and get free drinks instead of getting killed. He's my poet laureate of the Northwest. So I went to Newport to find stories there. I grew up there and I resented it and I left and I came back. And this is the Newport we all want to visit, the beautiful postcard Newport. But we don't always get that Newport. Something happens when we're packing on the way to the coast. We see the weather forecast, we pack the flip-flops and the chinos, and then we drive and we get close and it's still sunny, but we have this impending sense of doom. We encounter the turn. And the turn isn't just a geographical turn, but it is a turn of the mind, a turn of the psyche into a different realm, and one that is often not joyful, but to me, there are layers of inspiration in that turn. You get Newported. You order clam chowder, and it becomes clamless clam chowder. There are no clams. You order fish and chips, and it's frozen, pumped in from Cisco. And you're in Newport, right on the bay. You see them unloading cod right there. You've been Newported. But there's also a magic to Newport. You go out looking for culture. You go to the movie, and it says, movie not showing tonight. No one came. You've been Newported. But there are other ways to explore being Newported, and my message is to embrace the isolation, the gray, the monotony, and go and get drunk. So here we are with my partner and her sister going to the Bay Haven, which is the kind of fisherman's bar in Newport. And I went there to stage a poetry reading. Yeah, so it was a challenge. So I was afraid. Imagine reciting poetry to these guys. It involved lots of fireball and a chance to, once we got going, I think I ended up bribing them with fireball is what happened. But these guys, rough exterior but sweet inside, and maybe they're just stern because they're afraid themselves. So getting Newported doesn't discriminate. Anyone can get Newported. So it happens to locals, it happens to tourists. There's very much a dark side because those kind of jobs are truly dangerous. They're the most dangerous jobs in the world. And that's the bar, that's in the bathroom. It says, do not sit, fuck, or stand on sink. It may fall. And someone nicely says, thanks for your cooperation. And then someone else says, duh. So I learned that if I bought the bar a round of shots, I might be able to rip out some poetry. So here's a part of one of those poems that I ripped out. After his third DUI, the cops took his car. So he rides his 10-speed from the boat straight to the bar. He rings the old ship's bell to buy the entire bar around. Not Jameson or Jack, he curiously calls out Fireball, the sweet cinnamon liquor preferred by Oregon coast fishermen and an entire generation of sorority girls. So there's Brian right there. And I kind of warmed up the crowd, and there was horseshoes flying, and we got them settled down, but people wouldn't listen. So Brian yelled out, and I put this in my book, shut the fuck up. I want to hear some fucking poetry. So for sure, stay brave and stay there, but you've got to kind of know when to cut bait, because late afternoon, early evening, things get dicey. And there's a sadness and a desperation and a loneliness that can turn into darkness. And I would embrace the gray this way. Machine gray, bulkhead gray, haze gray, gray underway, gunmetal gray, gray lit of day, pewter gray, Bay Haven after 9 fireballs gray, fancy Manzanita Mercedes gray, blue-collar gray, seasick gray, gray the gulls dragged inland gray, old lady's hair who paints the plastic wave at the unfortunate art show gray, we better go inside gray, used to be at the beach gray, Newported gray, the entire month of May gray, pink eraser of hope gray, my dad's tombstone gray, good old gray, Zoloft gray, fucked up gray, gray you slipped inside your jacket and carried back to Portland gray, Portland gray you see outside your office window that floats you back, storm sent to the place you call home gray, my own private gray, your gray, the best place to gray, always here when you need it, gray. And gray is sexy. After many days of gray, you want to stand underneath the Astoria Bridge and take your clothes off. That can happen. So in closing, there's a celebration to experiences in your place, but you must pay attention and weather the storms and embrace the little things, the nondescript things. When it's not that exciting, not a lot happens, something happens to you and you change, and you can come with stories. And those are the stories I like to tell. Be brave, be generous, embrace people, love them, and they will give you something back. They may not give you love back, but they'll give you a story, I think. Fireball them, embrace 1,000 shades of gray, and finally, let's get Newported. All right, thank you.